This morning I'm headed up to Austin's. He's up in Avon, Maine, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's Avon. He's building a new sugar house, so I want to go check that out, see, if he's got everything kind of where he wants it. He probably thinks he does, but there's always little things before you get too far into it. But the other thing is that we need to look at his woods. He's looking at setting up a big piece of woods, probably not this year, but next year he's going to make quite a jump from the sounds of it. So I need to get up, check on his woods, and kind of put a plan together for him about how to get this sap out, because he's got a challenging spot to get sap out of the biggest piece of it. So kind of got to come up with a plan, that way he knows what he's in for next year. But it'll be pretty good, especially checking out a new sugar house build. So like you said, your brook runs up in your low spot, but you're going to want to set to one side or the other of it. And all that does is make it to where you don't have to walk in the brook when you're checking your lateral lines.
That makes sense.
So it is your low spot, but 5-10 feet off of it. And you can cross back and forth as you go up. But why walk through the brook if you don't have to? Stay off to the side, stay on high ground. And it's easier walking generally too.
Yep.
And here, as you go down through, it's an easy one and you can really do a straight shot. You've got your house there in your yard. That's going to kind of be your limit for how far. So kind of set your main 100 feet off your yard or off the last tree.
Yeah.
Because then you run your laterals out the 100 feet, pick up your 3 to 5, which is your 3 to 5 is probably more important than your 100 feet.
Yep.
Do that, and then you can go up to this side another 100 feet or your 3 to 5 and catch this, because you've kind of got a valley here. Then you're going to set your next main on the far side of those, and then just keep stepping up the hill as you work you up the mountain with that. But this will be easy because it's open. You've already got your brush taken care of, and I mean, there's a decent charge of maples in here.
Yeah.
Keeping your access open to where you can get through stuff with a four-wheeler is going to make your life easier, or a snowmobile, because then working on it off season and going out to check lines, if you know you got a spot, you can just bolt out and you don't have to move stuff. So like crossing that road right there, I just run it a little bit higher and get those ones up on top of that knoll.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You've got plenty of pitch coming through here. I mean, you're at like 8% pitch, so you can run everything right at like chest level, or depending on how much snow you're going to have,
working height.
and make it easy. You don't have to run it high, because there's plenty of slope that goes down this whole way. But do that, because then you don't have to reach for stuff, and you're not going to have to pull up with your lateral lines too. So you've got enough pitch from the bottom that taking your wet dry, starting at the bottom at the sugar house as close to it as you can, and running straight up the mountain, because then that's going to move that liquid the most efficient way. And then your mains, you're going to run off. You got to carry the pitch, but you're going to run off to the side on either side of it, and then your laterals will go straight up the hill.
Yeah.
And get your 3 to 5 taps. So then when you walk up the hill, you walk up your wet dry, and you can close and open your valves on each main and find your leak if you've got one. Then you only have to walk out that one, but you're walking along the side of the slope to where you're not climbing the slope to check all of them.
Yep.
Then you find it, and you only have to go up for those few.
Yep.
So it'll be more efficient checking lines with your wet dry going up and your mains going off to the side. And you've got plenty of pitch here, so that's the easy button. And I think you'll probably get it with one wet dry up the center, and then just your mains every 100 feet.
Yeah, coming off both sides of the wet dry.
Yeah, and then we'll size you to where, as you start, you set up part of it at the bottom, you'll have big enough pipe there to where as you get to the top, you don't have to change out the bottom because you're already set up. And you can set this up in phases too.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it. Have you had anyone helping you, or just you? So your evaporator is going to go here.
Gonna go right here.
Right there.
Yeah.
With the arch facing this way.
Yes.
Yeah, and then tank room on one side, I'm guessing.
Tank room over here.
Yep.
RO and releaser.
Yep.
There, sap coming in right into the releaser and then right out into the tanks.
Tanks.
And then over there, firewood with a 4-foot door to come through. That section there, and then that's going to be like taps, spiles, drill batteries, all that stuff. And then up front is going to be like bottling, canning, processing.
In the 540.
And the 540.
We're in here looking, we're on the low side of the swamp. On the side, there's a whole bunch of mature maples here, but we found a beaver runway where they've been skidding everything right into this beaver pond that I've never seen one where there's been this much activity, but now it's just a matter of trying to find a way to get the sap to the other side of this swamp. You make it?
Yeah.
You got wet feet.
No, that was not great.
So I'm on my way home from Austin's now, and as you can see, he's got a lot of real potential there. I didn't get all the woods on video because we spent a lot of time walking, kind of working our way through his woods. He's got some big sugar maples there and some big red maples. A few spots was not a lot, but he's dealing with a lot of beech in there that he's been working to get those thinned out, use those for firewood, cutting a lot of his pine out to build his new sugar house. We did kind of talk about how laying sugar house out, how he wants to get things set up in there, and goods and bads of how he's going to do it. I think I gave him a couple good ideas, one being firewood. Firewood is a real pain because you handle it so many times. One of the best ways going right now is taking cage tanks. You pull the tank out of it and you stack your firewood right off the splitter into that cage tank, because then you don't have to handle it, use a tractor to move it or a pallet jack, and it'll just save you time down the road. I think he was kind of leaning towards that just because it's one less thing, or one less time I should say, to have to handle that firewood. As you can see, there's quite a step up from his old sugar house to what he's going to have for a new one, and I'm pretty excited for him because I think he's going to be real happy when he gets that new one set up. Is that your hammer?
Yeah.